So you're saying you care more about money than a relationship?
I don't give a if she was a homie. But if she stole my money, yeah, that affects my life.
Let's go.
Men
And then after this, I'm gonna do some Red Dead.
Just be friends. 3, 2, 1.
Men and women cannot just be friends. I don't agree with that.
He's still deciding, but I'll go ahead. There's always this underlying current to a man and a woman when they're just friends, because there's this sexual attraction, this energy that you can't even see it.
That's not
It's
necessarily
always
true.
growing. And men, as you know, you guys are conquerors. You want a conquest. You want to.
Yeah,
even if
this
it's a
guy.
friend,
There's plenty of men that are
sometimes
not conquerors.
develops into more simply because law of familiarity. You start getting close and comfortable, and maybe you weren't attracted to her initially, but that opposition of that sexual polarity always kicks in.
What if the man is like not attracted to women? Just like generally, do you think that's still
You mean if they take a
That's a great
different
point.
like a gay man and
sexual orientation
and a woman being friends?
Well, I think that's different, perhaps because they're attracted to men. So in that moment, they
This
have taken
homie,
on the
he's a
feminine
C
energy.
switch
they only
big
want to
time.
conquer the men, not the women.
Well, in that, there's always masculine and feminine energy, whether you're a man or woman. So if the man is gay and identifies as being attracted to men, then he's
What
in
about-
feminine energy.
What about asexual
mostly.
people?
Now, if there's
Or-
two of them, there's
She
one
ain't buying shit. She's annoyed as fuck right now. I love it. Oh, I hope they go at it. I hope they go at it.
that's more masculine and more feminine, but that's for another.
Two of my
Yeah.
best friends are women. We
Okay.
have great times together all the time. Not once have I considered sleeping with them or anything like that.
Ever?
No. But that's the thing is,
Ever?
though,
In
that's
their
why,
darkest hour, in your darkest hour, come on.
no.
Because you like, no,
We
That's
started off as friends, and this is like I said, I was
lot of-
never attracted to them.
a lot of relationships start like that today.
and there's plenty of relationships that can stay like that. I think that's super arrogant to think that every single time a man and a woman get in contact with each other, they have to like be wanting to sleep with each other. I think that's ridiculous. Like my mom has friends that are male, and there's never been anything. The guy's married, there's never been any issues. She's friends with their wives. Yes, there are situations where cheating happens, blah 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 blah. But there's plenty of situations. I feel like this lady here is making like this like definitive situation for all men and women. Like there has to be sexual energy. There has to be like this tension that's there, which is not the case whatsoever. I've worked with a lot of women that I've never been attracted to and stayed friends with.
Even though I discourage it, they say I'm not attracted to them, but it'll grow, and I'm always like, it can happen.
It can, but
But the odds of it. So I agree with you on that as
yeah,
well.
that's why I'm like, I do
Slim to
understand
none.
and I get it, but two of my best friends are women, and not once. Everyone keeps saying like, oh, you're gonna do, and I'm like, it's
No,
not,
it's
'cause
just-
You never
attraction
know.
was never
Life
there.
is a long time.
Are your friends?
Life is a long time. That's so again, it's like she wants to be right. She can't just be like, you know what? It's not 100%. Is it a lot? Yes. Are there a lot of guys that do try to sleep with their friends that are girls? Yes. But it's not a definitive 100%. And I think she's trying so hard to be like, no, you can't.
Friends are attractive.
Yes.
Like they look.
It's fine if you find a friend attractive. There's nothing wrong with finding people attractive. We're human. You have eyes. There's nothing wrong with that.
Look good.
But attractive is subjective.
But hold on, like
depend on
this like generally speaking, like your girls like look good, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you was just lonely, like it's been a moment, you didn't want to beat it, you know what I mean? Or like
There's a special exemption. I'm non-monogamous, so I never have to worry about intimacy.
Well, that's why.
Wait, so you getting played. So you ain't worried about you, man.
He's like getting it, so he doesn't need it. But
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, straight up,
if
George.
you was lonely, you wasn't getting it though, and your friend was throwing it
I
at
guess
you.
that's a
I like how she makes the claims that like guys have to be attracted to women, and she wears this, not to be like judgmental, but it's like this is a very, very provocative outfit to wear to like a guys and girls cannot just be like friends.
Yeah, that's a different situation. That's what I'm saying. I know I'm an
you
outlier.
belong over here.
Come
No.
to the dark side.
If he's
Okay,
not
okay,
attracted,
okay.
if we're not attracted,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
just
like,
friends.
it's just friends. Yeah.
As a straight, very monogamous man, I grew up mainly being friends with women. I felt more comfortable in those spaces. I felt more comfortable talking to women. I've never been like a bro, rah, 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 that type of thing.
No, don't
So
lie.
I think men and women
Chad.
absolutely can be. I have friends that I've had since elementary school, middle school.
Mhm.
We talk
Same.
very often, and we talk about all these things, and it
Yeah.
has never affected that aspect of the relationship because we're men and women. We're just people, and people can be friends. It's not.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
So my perspective
It's
is
circumstance.
from kind of a Christian worldview. I believe that God created man and woman to come together in love and attraction to be one.
Okay.
And so from that standpoint, I believe that there is just a natural attraction. I have had some extremely close friends that were girls, and that attraction just developed because it wasn't just physical, but it was love. It was getting to see how they were around their family, around kids, what they do for work, what they do for school, developing that relationship. So from my perspective, that attraction develops because I wasn't just looking at her from just, she's just a body. Yeah, she's just a piece of meat. You develop that emotional attraction, that emotional
Which is
relationship.
why I'm over here. Yes, joining this dark
Can you not?
side.
I would ask.
Because I completely agree with you.
Then you make a choice of just being like, can you control yourself? It's like, yeah, it's great to see that somebody is attractive in multiple ways, but still choose to just be friends.
On that, from
Can
the
you
same
love-
Christian
Yes.
standpoint, 100%.
Wait, hold up. Have you been sleeping all right?
No.
I haven't, which is why I'm so glad that I found Nero. If you have and their energy and focus gum and mints, and use code Jubilee at checkout for 20% off your first subscription purchase. Thanks so much to Nero for sponsoring this episode, and now let's get back to it.
I would date someone I do not find physically attractive.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Ah, man. Like, you want to say something first?
I wonder if they're lying.
I do it all the time because there's a lot you don't, just from the physicalness. It's like sometimes there's some people that I learned just by not going in based off physical attractionness. I end up being attracted to them just because of their personality.
Emotional attraction. That makes sense.
Looks can be deceiving.
These people are
I could
super
say the same on the
wishy-washy.
opposite end where I thought
I
someone
like
was
these
absolutely
episodes.
attractive, but then
I
got
like
to know
episodes
them
like where
and
these
they
people that have
were the worst
definitive
person I could have possibly been on a date with.
reasonings,
I feel
you
like,
know,
like
and,
you can
and
definitely not be
beliefs.
attracted to somebody initially, and then as you get to know them.
Yeah.
I feel like at that point, like once I like someone's personality romantically, I probably
They're
also
automatic.
think they're attractive.
I would say that for some, it's not a reflection on your character, how weighted appearance versus personality might be. It differs from person to person. I think that we have our preferences, and I think that a certain element of physical attractiveness is fitness, health, hygiene, and that reflects on usually competence, responsibility, and dedication. But I do see it as important, although not the whole package by any means.
Right. It's
Okay.
the very first impression you get of most people.
Yes.
Because, like, you meet someone and you can't hear their voice first thing most of the time. You just see them. And you're
Right.
like, oh, that person's attractive. Or, like, I don't see myself with that person because I don't find them attractive. And that's totally fine. Not everybody's attracted to everybody. But me personally, I would not be with someone I don't find attractive.
So,
Agree.
Physical
I
attraction
gotta
does
give
play
context
a
here, right?
part.
if I'm meeting
It's not
you
everything.
in person and you don't look good, then I'm over there with y'all. But if I'm meeting you through a dating app and I get catfished, but you're kind of cool, then, because I met a girl
Okay.
that had nice pictures. But then when I seen her in person, she was a little bit bigger than I prefer, right?
Right.
And there's
It
nothing
happens.
wrong with that,
Well,
right?
everyone can have nice pictures today.
Now, there's nothing wrong with being a bit bigger, but for preference sake, I wasn't really feeling it. But her personality is what got me. And then I started entertaining it. So,
Give it a
right,
chance.
Even though I got catfished, I actually considered, taking her seriously.
I wouldn't. Is it really considered catfish if like she's the same person? It's the same person as maybe an older photo. It's just she's maybe be a little bit bigger, or a couple of things, features are different. It's one thing. It's like when I think about catfishing, I think of like if I'm talking to some girl from New York, and it turns out to be some like 50-year-old dude, or like a 50-year-old old hag lady, not old 50-year-old, but some 50-year-old lady that's like, I don't know, ragged, that's trying to be like some hot blonde or whatever. Like that's catfishing to me. Someone who just posts like an older picture of them and they maybe gained a few pounds. I don't consider that catfishing.
And I also date, like, sometimes I really try this because
Good personality, good looks,
some
even.
great people I've got to meet along
Don't
the
want to
way.
marry.
I will date outside of my preferences just to see what that's like.
Yeah,
If
no,
you're not
that's
initially attracted to that person,
that's legit,
have a
George.
strong
And
sexual attraction.
that's where it comes into preference. You know, you do take your time when picking a partner because you want someone that you really can be compatible with.
Then it's not going to work because we know that relationships get worse, not better. That's like, I don't know, I think it's a recipe for a disaster.
Cheating is the worst thing my partner could do to me.
Yes.
3,
Aside from like killing.
2, 1.
But yeah, I do agree. I agree with that. Strongly disagree. Wow. What is your reasoning? She really wants to be on the opposite side.
I feel like there's like probably worse things like in theory that a partner could do to their partner, but just because that's such an important aspect for me and like I feel like
Yeah.
my partner
Like murder is worse
like
than
something
killing
I
or than
actively would
cheating.
not do. I
But
feel like that would just make that adds like an extra element of evil.
Yeah, I mean, my mind goes to
deception.
marriage. I mean, you know, when you marry this woman, when I marry a woman someday, you promise literally everything you have to be with her, literally thick and thin, to be with her through everything, through highs and lows. And I mean, if you do something like cheating, it's basically like, screw this love, this wasn't real. These promises that I made between us and God mean nothing. I think for a lot of Christians, that's like a big thing, is cheating. I mean,
100%. And it's one of the 10 Commandments too.
Yeah.
It's like,
Thou
not
shalt
commit
not. Yeah.
adultery.
Thou shalt not cheat.
So that
commit
is
adultery.
definitely the worst thing because getting married is a promise between you and that person and God.
It's very
I
sacred.
mean, technically, there's worse things like they could kill you, which would probably be the worst thing.
That's
then
what I
you're
said.
Not even in the picture.
Thank you.
No,
No,
I'm kind of like, you know, but I would say that would like destroy me, and I would never even think
Yeah.
about something
Yeah,
like
you're
that.
right. You're right.
Yeah.
George. Physical attractiveness definitely
was
plays a
actually
part.
cheated
There's
on,
and there's nothing wrong with that.
4 or
If
5 months ago.
people
I
saying
struggled with
otherwise are
self-esteem
lying.
so much growing
You
up,
you
and that
do
was
have to have
the
some level of
worst
physical
thing that could have
attractiveness to
happened. That
somebody else.
destroyed any chance I had at self-love at that time, and it was just devastating for me. Like, it really was just devastating because it didn't just destroy that relationship, it destroyed
It's just human
my
nature.
entire
It's
image
in our
of myself
it's in our
that I
genes.
had built up based on other people's validation, and I had to rip it down to the studs and just fully start over. Yeah, so that's why I'm over here. Strongly agree. For me personally, it was the worst thing that could have
Cheating is
happened.
terrible.
Cheating is f***ed up. It's not a good feeling. Is it the worst thing that a partner could do to me? To be honest, I've outgrown that. Bro, I had over $250,000 stolen from me this year, bro.
That's pretty bad.
And that put me in a dark ass place. Now imagine,
So
if my partner stole that.
I like how that was kind of like a low key flex. He's low key flexing.
Money from me, or she was just a homie. I'd be more mad about the money. You feel me, right?
I don't have that money to be stolen.
You know what I mean?
So you're saying you care more about money than a relationship?
But because at the end of the day, me and my ex, we ain't together no more, so I don't give a f- if she was a homie. If she was, right? But if she stole my money, yeah, that affects my life. You know what I mean, right?
That's a legit-
So the whole thing is when we talking about the prom.
That's
the worst thing
that's
that
a
a partner
legit
can do. I've been
concern.
cheated on before. The first time I was cheated on, bro, I was petty. I was in high school, bro. I drove all the way to the crib and told her mom what she was doing with me. I was vengeful. But now I just be like, you know, so many
Back in the
people
day, I do that. I probably
just
do that.
worst things that they have. Like, if you kill my mom, I'd be more mad rather than you f***ing a homie.
The sanctity of marriage is supposed to be till death do us part. That doesn't mean if your carnal flesh gave in and you had, you know, an indiscretion that you're able to hit the door running. No, that means there's work to be done. We have problems. For me, I think it actually can be the best thing because it's a sign that there is a huge problem in the relationship that needs fixed.
I'm sorry, dude. What is this lady, man? You think cheating could be the best thing for a relationship? That is absolutely ridiculous. That is the stupidest, most ignorant thing I think I've ever heard. Not ever, but you know what I mean? Like, imagine being a family, in a family, right? You have 2 kids. You know, maybe one's 5 and one's a teenager. And you've been married for 10 years. And your partner cheats on you. And you're going to say that's the best thing? That's going to wreck a family. What?
Most sex is not emotional, so it's just a bodily act that animals do, and you're going to blow up a marriage or a relationship with children over sex, to me, I think that is ridiculous.
But
and
sex-
shows-
She starts. You're not wrong, George. I don't. It's just that mindset. And again, you have to consider there's other ways of being. Like I have a friend that's in a polyamorous relationship, and that's just how he wants to live life. And that's between consulting adults, right? That they have an agreement that hey, we're both going to be partners, but we want to be able to go out and sleep with other people. There's nothing wrong with that. They both understand what they're doing. There's an agreement. They have understanding and trust within each other, right? They know who the other person's talking to, right? If someone doesn't like the other person, they can say, I don't want you seeing that person. There's understanding there. But when you go behind someone's back, that's so unbelievably shady. Like that's such a bigger problem. Just end the relationship. If you're not attracted to that person anymore, or you're not being fulfilled, then you either talk it out like a grown human being should, or you just leave. You just leave. Because if you cheat on someone, it's guaranteed going to give that person some trauma that they're going to carry for the rest of their life. It's guaranteed. So how she can say that it's going to be a good thing, if it's a good thing, is absolutely ridiculous.
You could say that about the person doing the cheating too.
I've been cheated on, so I have been cheated on.
Well, so you think that's something you could like, oh, you have gotten over it?
I have gotten over it. If my husband cheats on me, of course I'd be devastated. I'm human, I bleed just like all y'all too, but I'd be like, damn, like, what's the problem here? What's the issue?
See, but that's-
and can we
Why don't
solve
you just,
this?
Why don't you just talk? Like
Well,
if you guys are
yeah.
married and you have that emotional
I feel like there's like there's
relationship,
things before that.
happen though. We know that people don't.
I think we should work to changing that.
We should,
Instead
but
of
that doesn't mean
accepting-
I'm going to unconditionally love you just because you went and had an indiscretion. I wouldn't do that to my son. My son f's up all the time and does crazy shit. I'm like, where on God's green earth did you learn that? That doesn't mean I stop loving him.
For men, I feel like we take cheating a lot more personally
We
as
do.
opposed to women. It
I
comes
think
to the ego.
People's boundaries are all different.
Yeah.
So if you have
Ego.
perhaps been with no or less partners and then you get married, to learn that that person cheated would be proportionally much more devastating to
Yes.
someone who's had maybe
Yes.
a lot of relationship experience and therefore that's more of an active part in their life.
100%.
So I think that everyone's boundaries are different. So for some people, I have seen them get over it.
Yes.
I know for me personally, I would say that I'm a woman that would take that devastatingly seriously and would not look lightly at it. So it depends on the person's boundaries.
If you had children and if you had a family involved, you would break up your family over a man's one-time indiscretion.
Yes.
That would
Perhaps
adversely
it depends on the seriousness of the cheating. There's so many other variables that go into this, but I think she does look like Harley Quinn. Yeah, you're not wrong, George. I think there's so many variables that do come into this. But this woman is making I don't think it's her intention, but she's making it seem like cheating is not a big thing, and that is not good, and that is not good. She's making it seem like, oh, people can just get over it. You can't. Some people can, sure. Like I've been cheated on. I have been able to get over the people that have cheated on me and grow from it, learn from it, and understand it and whatnot. Know what I do and do not like. But that still affects me to this day. Of when I'm looking for a partner, when I got into a relationship with Katie, and same thing with her. So it's like there's going to be trauma. It's just like it's just such a. The question is cheating the worst thing that my partner can do to me? For most people, 90%, maybe 95% of people would say yes.
affect your
No
child
doubt.
and possibly send her to the stripper pole.
I don't feel comfortable answering that question because I feel like it's making a lot of.
That
But this
feels
is
like
what
an
happens.
escalation.
This is
But
what
I
happens.
feel like that
We don't
that
want to
just
answer
shows
those questions, but
that shows
I
an
would say
example
yes.
onto the kids, like, oh, this is not that bad of a thing.
Right.
And I think that like somebody cheating on you is more than just like a physical thing. Like that's a break of trust, and I feel like
Well,
if
yeah.
you can't have that trust in someone, then I also don't want them to be like raising my kids with me.
so we're all
Yeah.
saying that love is conditional is the end of
Yeah,
Yes,
100% agree with
absolutely.
that.
Monogamy is overrated. 3, 2,
Interesting. It's
1.
interesting question.
monogamy is overrated.
It's a very simple question, lady.
Sorry.
Of course.
Right? Yeah. He's in a polyamorous relationship.
Get over here, get your phone over here. You know you least something.
I know. We're like,
think about it.
we're like, in a second.
Think about it.
We're taught from the Disney, all these fairy tales, it's like you're supposed to be with that one and only, you know. So it's very frightening to break something traditional. But after like a few months with it, I just knew I'm like, this is the right choice. I've been in the most happiest of relationships.
What's up,
I
Crap?
just celebrated my 3 years with my primary partner.
How's your stream, man? Are you still streaming? Oh, you finished streaming? I was lurking.
But it's like, you know, I do think
We're
that
finishing up some
monogamy is
React
kind of
content
overrated.
before
I
we
don't
start Red
think
Dead.
that, there's anything like, you know, wrong with it. If that's what you want to do, go for it.
What up,
But
IC?
I do think
Thank you
that,
for the raid, my brother.
non-monogamy and poly relationships should be something that like it's looked at as an option.
I think
For
nowadays
for those of you joining, we are watching Can Men and Women Just Be Friends? So if you think that men and women can be friends or just be friends, say yes in the chat, or if you don't, say no. Right now the question is monogamy overrated? This guy on the right says he's in a polyamorous relationship. Yeah, it's pretty wild.
more open relationships than I do strictly closed relationships.
I appreciate that, IC. How's your stream?
I would say I disagree that monogamy is overrated, but I do agree that for some people like yourself, poly relationships.
It's been a
work
very
better,
interesting video.
So I don't look down upon them. I think whatever works for you works for you.
Thank you.
Yes.
But I can still
Thank you.
say that for like someone like myself or people that are similarly just very focused,
All women other than my wife are. Yeah, that is the right answer, Red. That is the right answer. See, I was telling George that my buddy Steve is in a polyamorous relationship. He was married. He was married for 2-3 years, and both of them cheated on each other with someone else. And he realized that he cannot stay tied down to one person at this moment, so he chose to be polyamorous. But he does also have friends that are women or that are just friends. Our lead singer, Savannah, is a friend of mine that I have known since she was 18, and I've known her since we started working at Target, and we never had any issues or anything like that. Let me read George's message really quick. My dad cheated on my mom, and my dad cheated on her. For revenge. My mom cheated on him for revenge, but they were both honest with each other and they worked it out at the end. So I agree that you should look at it and think what is wrong, but it's going to be going on for 3 years, and I'm the one who caught it. Oh shit, that sucks, George. I apologize. That's terrible. They didn't come up and be front with me and feel guilt for it. Got it. Get out of my life. Yeah, that sucks, George. It's so unfortunate when there's cheating involved, when there's children involved, you know, because I think, and because if divorce happens, a lot of times the child will think it's their fault. They did something, just subconsciously. Sometimes I thought that when my mom was dating this one dude, and he cheated on her. He left, and I was like, did I do something wrong? You know, I was like 7-8 years old at the time. You know, it's tricky.
and have like strict kind of like I just can't.
Also, for you guys, the Raiders and all that stuff like that. This is the last video I'm gonna do some Red Dead after this. So.
Oh my god, I could never imagine more than like one
It's
person.
a lot. It
depends
takes
on
a
the
lot.
person,
Yeah.
So therefore, I don't think monogamy is overrated. I think it depends on the person, and
Right.
I think for me, it's definitely not over. It's the only option. For you, poly is like the right
Yeah.
way. So it just depends. I'm
Absolutely.
completely non-judgmental. I think.
I don't think I could never be
just
in a
wanna
polyamorous
say,
relationship.
don't mind
I can't deal with more than one woman
right?
at one
I just
time.
don't like a controlling relationship where it's completely like
I would
you can
accidentally
do
text the
what
wrong
else,
person.
but at the same time, you want to me once or twice a month. You know?
You like the outfit? Yeah. Yeah, it's a good outfit. She kind of reminded me of Ariana Grande
You
at
know,
first.
me and my ex was together for 5 years. I actually broke up with her in April. But
Be in the middle,
2.5
Polly.
years out
Polly's
the
a
relationship,
player.
we was barely for like maybe once a month.
Yeah.
Then I moved her in the crib. And then when I moved her in the house, for the whole first year of her living in the house, she just didn't want to have sex.
That's
and shit.
right.
Now, we had an agreement that we had agreed on where we could do various things that we just didn't want to know about and stuff like that.
Right.
And
But there's
because
an
he wasn't
understanding.
and stuff like that,
There's an
I was
understanding.
handling the agreement. Like I was following the agreement. But
Right.
because there were certain things that wasn't necessarily 100% out there, that created complications in the relationship.
Yeah.
To the point that it ended up Well, it's breaking up.
I
Yeah.
think it's definitely like it has a place, like for certain people.
Like relationships are already so incredibly difficult and tricky to deal with and figure out with every single person. Can you imagine dealing with like 2 to 3 people at the same time? Trying to keep your main woman or guy happy, and then also trying to please the other people on top of a job or school and life and whatever you're dealing with. Like it's just
Obviously, we have 2 people who are like very religious here, and it works well for them. And I just think like if I was in an open relationship, I would go crazy. Like even when I'm in like a normal relationship where it's like I don't expect them to cheat on me, I'm still like it's
Suspect.
yeah. So I just like if that was
more
me,
hands, less work.
I can't imagine a world where I would agree with that. And also before I had like loved someone or like dated anybody, I was like, oh no, I could totally be in an open relationship. And then I actually did, and I was like, oh,
Are you
never
a very
mind.
sexual person? Just curious though.
Like kind of.
Kind of.
Like kind of.
So if your partner was
Oh, you see that look? You see that look? She a low key a freak right here. Watch.
Like kind of.
kind of.
Sure.
She's like, yeah.
Look at that.
So
Look at
if
that.
your partner
Look at that, dude. She a freak. She a freak, dude. She's being super humble and subtle about it, dude. She gets down.
was
100%.
very sexual too, and he's like, baby, like I want to be with you, but you always just shut him down because you ain't in the mood.
I don't. That's like never happened.
Oh,
I don't
well,
think.
okay, but I'm just
like I
saying,
just feel like that's like not. That's like personally for me not an issue. But also,
Alright.
I don't know. I think that would definitely be a conversation if there was like an imbalance. But also, I think there's different things that make people compatible as partners, and that's definitely one of them.
What he's saying is the cry of many men today is that they're not getting enough sex from their partner.
And that's a conversation that you have
not
with
just sex,
your
it's not like
partner.
men are,
If
like,
you're not
being
happy with that,
partners.
get the fuck out and
But
find a
from-
partner
listen,
that
men
is
need sex to
sexually
create intimacy.
attracted to
Women
you
need
and
intimacy to have
wants
sex. And people
that.
get married and then fuck around. It's like,
Yep.
just don't get married then. And stay
You know
like
that by
this for
experience, George?
Dates and anniversaries
Y'all
every
two are my
month,
people. I
3
swear to
years,
God. Y'all
2
two are
years.
my people.
Next month is his 1 year anniversary with partner number 3. Like just
You're gonna
just be out there doing your dates and does that make
Reggie
sense?
like getting
By
tied
the
up.
end of the day, nobody should dictate your relationship because everyone's gonna try to push what they think works for
Yeah.
you know. This is what's best for you. Like I'm over it. I'm like, why? So I can be frustrated and pissed off and like I've tried it. To me, it did not work.
I want to take perspective because Christian.
You know how to work
perspective
her
that's
rope, yeah.
a little away from
Hey,
my political views.
sailors, dude. I bet
And no
girls love being with
disrespect, but I
sailors,
do
dude. They know
think
all the
polygamy
knots.
is just laziness.
Not
I think
polygamy.
it's-
This is
or-
polyamory.
no,
Polygamy is
sorry.
when it's multiple wives, just
Polyamorous.
one person.
I see that as laziness, that you don't want to commit to someone in the
Ooh,
hard times.
shots
You were talking about
fired.
a little bit about, well, they're not getting fulfilled sexually.
Oh, he's
so why not
pissed.
find it somewhere
He's
else?
pissed.
Why not just do the hard work to
Man, he
work
just
on
like
your
runs across it.
relationship?
Ooh, I was
Get
ready
that
for this.
pleasure.
Let's go.
And
No.
I mean,
Let's
there's,
go.
there's such a emotional, there's a psychological,
Yeah.
just
Save our children, dude. Let's go.
importance in being
Fuck
with
them
one
kids.
person.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pair bonding.
So then
Yeah.
why do we have such a high divorce rate?
I agree with you on that.
why do we
but
have such a high
Why do why are people still cheating? Why is open
Because they're not, because our country, I think, is lazy. We don't want to have these hard conversations of
Okay.
maybe we should go to therapy, maybe we should try to get help because we love one another. It's like, nah,
or
I
even
can go
to
get
talk
this.
about it. Period.
Yeah.
Just to talk about
I-
it, right?
So me and my ex, we actually did couples therapy because again, we was barely for like 2.5 years.
Oh, so if you guys didn't know, this guy claimed that his ex stole $250,000. The question was, is cheating the worst thing that your partner could do to you? She said no. He said he was kind of on the no-ish side, and his reason was because his ex cheated on him with his best friend and stole $250,000. Insane.
Bro, we went to couples therapy.
What's up,
Next
Miscellany?
thing you know, everything was great for like a
Man,
month.
man really,
And then one
really
day she
used the
just
Bible to
goes, "Man,
justify his
I
words
still
and
don't
talks
feel
about
like
others
you,
being
this,
lazy.
this, and that." Like, she was
Oh
in,
boy.
bro.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Thanks.
So at the same time, there was a point in my relationship where it really just.
Are
came to a
you
point, like, baby, I
online
like
right now?
Everything else about you. You know what I mean, right? This area sucks. Are you still attracted to me? She said,
Amico
"Yes, I'm
is
still
though.
attracted to you, right?
Leave some
Well, here's
lurks
the
for
thing,
anybody.
If you just don't want to have sex with me, right? Go somebody do this. I don't give a.
Yeah.
Let's have that conversation, right? Because I get everything else I want from you, anyways. I was open to the idea. I want to be with my woman, but if you don't want to do this, I'm fine. Just
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're on the same page.
I mean, I understand the importance of sex, but there's self-sacrifice in every relationship you need to make. If you're happy with her and everything she had, but you also have a value on sex, then maybe she's not the right person.
But the thing was, Did I want to go look for greener grass, or did I just want to water my own grass? I just stuck it out for 5 years, bro.
That's another aspect of being like romantically compatible with someone, and sometimes there's like one thing that's not there and that sucks. But it's like if that, especially if that other person, that's something that they prioritize. Like personally, if my partner was like, oh, like I love like everything about you, but like this is not compatible, and they wanted to go sleep with other people, like that would make me feel so bad about myself.
And that's why
That's very
it's
yeah.
for you.
Yeah, that would suck. That would suck.
That's like a compatibility issue then, I think, because I'm not your ex-girlfriend, I don't know how she feels, but if I were in that scenario, I just like that just would make me so
Feels pretty good
sad,
with $250,000.
even though It's like it's none of your fault that there's that.
How do you steal $250,000?
So much shit.
Yeah, they-
right.
This guy has to be an idiot. Oh, not an idiot because he has that much money, but how do you?
The day I broke with my girl, she said, man, she's like, I just be counting down the days. Like, when we had sex in like 12 days, I gotta go have sex with y'all. Otherwise, Ashley gonna get mad, you know what I mean, right? And I'm hearing all this and shit, right? You know what I mean? So she said a bunch, and I felt like I had to break up with her, right?
Yeah, no, that's
Did not want to. I feel like I had to.
Yeah, that would definitely take a toll on you.
I think all this goes back to clear communication because
Yeah.
if
Communication's key
I
in
don't
anything.
think that cheating means that polyamory would actually be the solution to that. I think that it goes back to your values and
Yes.
works for you. And I think that I would.
Yeah, you're not wrong,
venture
Red.
To say that more people might be poly than are exploring that right now, and still at the same time.
Which is kind of scary.
monogamy, I think,
It's
works for a lot of people. So
burglaries and
all
stuff like
works
that.
for
I
you.
feel like
I would date someone
I would date someone in this room. Ooh, interesting.
in this room.
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Right? I don't know these people.
Agree, disagree.
Surprised he was over here.
Yeah,
What do
dude,
you do?
this lady was like so on the edge throughout the whole time. She was completely like against the grain with some pretty out of the box kind of things. And it makes sense because a lot of people were against her. That's why.
He's already said when you do anything.
The energy is cool.
You just have to have a pulse, and we'll go out with you.
That's not how that is.
Perfect example, right? Like Janelle, she got good energy, right? Now imagine Janelle might be the coolest person. Next thing you know, you start getting to know her, she might be crazy. You'd be like, then you come over here all of a sudden.
Generally, the few people I've been attracted to, they look like Tim Burton dolls or just like weird goth
Tim Burton
people. Yeah, just like weird goth people. So like, it's just coincidence. It's very rare that I see these people.
Oh, you guys, dude, after this video, we're gonna watch something that's
My
pretty cool.
girlfriend would kill me.
You guys are gonna like this next video.
Respect.
I like to think I'm pretty
We watched
picky,
one video
so
before, and it was
Am
amazing.
I not your type though?
You got me feeling some type of way now that you say it. I don't know.
So you my good side.
Okay.
Overall, I think they did.
I mean,
This is
for
a pretty
me,
good group.
Beliefs are extremely important. I mean, I ain't trying to get all flirty, but you are also very gorgeous.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wedding invitation.
But no, beliefs are very
Instead of save
important
the children,
within
it's like, let's
relationships.
make
I
some
think
children.
I look into, obviously, I have a desire to be a husband and one day be a father, and I think if you have different in beliefs, it's very hard to raise coherently.
Absolutely.
I think that just is extremely important.
That was pretty good.
Thank you.
I don't know if you guys have seen these videos. Fuck them kids, yeah. Fucking then make some kids. These videos are great. I love watching these Jubilee videos. Do all cheaters think the same? Some of them are really, really fun. We watched the singles reject themselves on the button. I'm sure some of you guys have watched that. It was pretty dope. But